Startup Challenge. My name is Shelley Hessian. I am with the Ocean Startup Project, and I also work at InnovaCorp, and I'm focused on the ocean tech. So I'm going to take you through this exciting competition that launched on March the 30th to tell you about it, answer any of your questions, and to encourage you to submit. I am on this call with my colleague, Natasha Legay. Natasha, I'll get you just to put your video on for a minute. And that's Natasha. So Natasha and I are running this competition. So Natasha, at any point that you want to add anything I'm saying, please jump in. Perfect. So we'll get started. We'll go to the first slide. So the Ocean Startup Challenge is part of actually a larger project called the Ocean Startup Project. This is an initiative supported by the Ocean Supercluster in Canada. And partners in the Ocean Startup Project include InnovaCorp, where I work, Genesis in Newfoundland, New Brunswick Innovation Foundation, PEI Bio Alliance, Springboard Atlantic, and Creative Destruction Labs. And the goal is to create and grow ocean tech startups. So the challenge is an exciting opportunity to spur some new ocean startups and to help existing companies. So we'll go to the next slide. So the competition this year actually has, I'm going to do a drum roll, has $1.4 million in funding that's going to be given out to startups. So this is non-dilutive funding, grant dollars, that hopefully you'll be able to leverage for other funding opportunities. So we are looking for solutions to problems in these sectors: fisheries and aquaculture, shipping and marine transportation, offshore energy, marine bioresources, and naval and defense. We'll go to the next slide. And this year, we have additional in-kind partners. So in addition to the cash, we're actually creating some packages that will help you. So for instance, we've got Cox & Palmer, which provides legal services, BDO, which provides accounting services. We've got bank involved, we've got incubators, accelerators, and Deep Sense, which provides data analytics. So we'll also have other supports for the winners in addition to cash. We'll go to the next one. So you should consider entering the competition if you're a solo entrepreneur with ideas, so you could enter as one person. You're an innovator or an early stage company that could pivot to ocean tech, meaning maybe you have a product that's got application maybe to forestry or other sectors, but the tech could be applied to the ocean tech. So you could enter the competition. If you are a researcher or student with any type of prototyping, interest in prototyping, enter. If you're an early stage entrepreneur that feels you have a solution to solve some of these industry challenges, please enter. And then maybe you are a mid-career professional who has expertise and could solve one of these industry challenges, we encourage you to enter. So in essence, it's wide open to who can enter the competition. So we'll go to the next slide. So the competition this year is got 3 different streams. So there is an idea stream that I'm going to talk about. There's a growth stream, and then there's an ocean shot stream. So you would pick which stream you want to enter. We will reserve the right to if we think you fit in another stream, we'll move you. This stream called idea is for the earliest business concepts or proof of concept. So we're looking for, if you've got an idea for a solution, if you're pre-revenue, pre-institutional, so you've got no investment, no sales prior to the deadline, you're a Canadian entity, and you have a solution with TRL 3 or lower, meaning it can be basic concept of an idea up to proof of concept. So this is for the very earliest stage of a company. So if you've got an idea, geez, maybe I do have a way to solve that problem, enter, and you can get some funding to advance it. Awards in the idea stream will be up to $25,000. So enough to kind of get you started to move the concept along. The next stream is the growth stream. So these are for companies further along. So it's TRL 4 to 7, which in essence is the prototype stream. So if you've got a prototype, this is the stream that you would enter. So you've already got some milestones done. You've got some achievements, some traction. So eligibility for this stream, less than $300,000 in equity investment. The founders would apply, and you plan to work full-time, and you're registered as a Canadian entity. International companies could apply for the growth stream. The next stream is Ocean Shot. Oh, I will mention in the growth stream, the awards are up to $100,000. So idea stream is up to $25,000. Growth stream up to $100,000. The Ocean Shot, there's going to be one award at this level, and this is for kind of a unique solution problem that has large, massive potential. So we're looking for applicants that can demonstrate a massive commercial opportunity, are going to leverage Canadian facilities or ocean assets. So maybe you're at this point doing demonstration, or you need some tech developed, have a solution with a TRL 7 or lower, which means TRL 7 is prototype ready for demonstration and operational environment, so up to that level. One person working full-time, have a clear plan for commercialization, and you would register as a Canadian entity. So this is really unique. So the idea stream is up to $25,000. The growth stream is up to $100,000, and then the Ocean Shot is up to $200,000. And there'll only be one winner in the Ocean Shot, but there'll be multiple winners in the idea and the growth stream. So we'll go on to the next slide. So these are the industry challenge areas, and after I go through, I'll show you where you would find out where the challenges are. We actually ran a lighter version of this competition last year, and we actually, I think, had about 150 submissions, shortlisted 30, and we did 14 awards. We anticipate probably 30, 35 awards in total will be given out in this competition. And these are the industry areas that we'll be looking at for solutions. Go to the next slide. So key dates. So applications are due on June the 1st. So at 11:59 Atlantic time, and it's an online application process. So we will look at the written submissions and select a short list, and we'll notify the short list by July the 6th. And we're going to invite the round one short list for interviews. Everything will be virtual, but it'll be virtual interviews between July 26th and August the 10th. We'll announce the short list on August the 18th. And then between September 8th to 14th, we'll invite the short list in to do pitch presentations. with the winners announced on the 22nd of September and the awards, virtual awards, on September the 28th. Go to the next slide. So general eligibility. So winners need to have an incorporated company before funds are released. So if you don't have a registered company or an incorporated company at this point in time, that's okay. You can go through, you can enter the competition without the incorporation, but if you win, you would need to incorporate before funds are released. And you can use part of the winnings to help do the incorporation. Applicants need to be the founders of the company, and existing companies can enter. They need to be in business less than 5 years and have less than 15 employees. So the eligibility, so the next slide, for international applicants. So international applicants are eligible to apply. If they win, they would need to incorporate in Canada, in one of the provinces or territories before funds are released. They can only apply for the growth in the ocean shot streams. Funds need to be spent in Canada, and you need to talk about how you're going to leverage Canadian assets or knowledge. So you could be working with an incubator, an accelerator, or have an industry partner, or you could be working with an institution throughout Canada. So that's the international. And we'll do Q&A at the end. Happy to answer any questions you might have on that. We'll go to the next slide. So this is an important slide. This is the evaluation. So there will be judges reviewing the applications, and these are the things they're going to look at. So pain and solution. So what industry challenge are you going to help solve, and what's your solution? So you need to talk about the pain, if you can quantify it, how large the market size is, and why your solution is valuable. That would be good. So for instance, maybe the challenge that you're looking at might be solving fish and shellfish waste. So things you could include in that is if you could figure out the numbers, how big the problem is, how much waste there is, what's the solutions out there, why your solution might be better, and talk about it. The next item is people. So teams are really important. We have a saying, a company with an A team and a B product is better than a B team with an A solution. So make sure you talk about yourself and your experience and how you can move this forward. We'll also look at competition. So you need to show that you've got a clear competitive advantage, why your solution is better than competitor products, and why it could be a lasting advantage. You need to talk about a barrier to competitive entry. A barrier to competitive entry might be intellectual property. It could be maybe you're a subject matter expertise, first to market. So how you're better than competitors, and then how to overcome any barriers that the competitors might have and how you can get traction. You also need to talk about the market, who your customers are, how big the market is, anything about customers, and then the impact of the funds, how you would use the funds to advance your company to reach milestones. We'll go to the next slide. And then this is the application. So it's an online application, but these are things to kind of look at. You need to include a business overview, what stream you're applying for, whether it's the idea growth or ocean shot stream. What problems are your customers having? What's your solution? So you need to describe kind of what your product or solution is. Include more than 2 sentences. There is actually word limits on the in the application. Many of the limits are like 100 words. some have expanded to 200 words, but as you go through, you'll see that. We'll go to the next slide. Other things, is there any intellectual property being developed? Is there anything novel and unique that you're creating? So if so, explain. You should also talk about who has ownership of the IP, how your solution solves the problem, what's the current status of your technology. We're using Canadian TRL levels, and there's a link so that you can actually see in the application and on the website. There's sections on market, who your customers, the value proposition, does it save money, save time, how big is the market pain? So try to find out how big the pain is, quantify. So applications aren't due to June, so you've got plenty of time to kind of research these different components in the application. We'll go to the next slide. There's a section there about the team. This is an important one. The reviewers will spend a lot, will focus in on this, kind of include your name. If you have a LinkedIn account, put that in. Talk about your roles and responsibilities, talk about your background, skills and your time, and then list the other. I think there's space to do a couple of co-founders or team members, and then you can also add other things in. Well, go to the next one. And then there's actually additional awards that we're giving out. These will be 25,000 awards. So there'll be an additional award for a woman ocean entrepreneur, an Indigenous ocean entrepreneur. And then we also will have an impact award, but this is for the diversity. So you would just indicate if you align with any of those awards. Go to the next one. We are also asking if there's any gaps in your team. So if you could identify that, talk about your competitors, the strengths and weaknesses, how you will have advantage over competitors. Execution. This is one that will actually probably set you apart from other entrants. Kind of what milestones have you achieved to date? You know, it could be the development of your tech, it could be the research, it could be customer discovery. So include what you've got, and then also talk about how the funding would help achieve future milestones, kind of use of funds. We're also interested in kind of what your long-term vision is. If you've raised any money, talk about it. How much time have you spent developing your idea? And then there's an opportunity to attach an additional document. If you've got a picture of the product, maybe you've got a pitch deck or anything that would support the front part, you can include. We'll go to the next one. So some tips for applying. So one thing, this is an online application. So it might be easier to kind of develop it on a Word document and then cut and paste into the application when you're ready. That way you can kind of wordsmith. Focus on the problem and your solution. Kind of how are you solving a problem? Notice we don't actually have a category called Other this year. In the past years we did, so we're focusing on the challenges that are identified. Show us your customer knowledge. Talk about the problem, talk about the customers, if you've done any customer discovery. Provide details, because that first cut is only the application. So make sure everything you want us to know is in there. Highlight the team, as I mentioned, and demonstrate your intentions for leveraging Canadian ocean assets. So if you're working, so for instance, you know, maybe it's the idea, 25,000, how would you use it? Like, are you going to do prototyping? If you've thought about any of that stuff, include. And then this is the link to apply at oceanstartupproject.ca/challenge, due by June the 1st. Go to the next slide. So that's just kind of general overall. So the big point is you could be the next winner of this. So I encourage all of you to enter. Let's go to the next slide. So we've got some, we'll send the slide deck out to everybody after too, but we do have a mailing list that you may want to sign up for. We have an email address if you've got any questions. We also have an information webinars called the Ocean Solutions Exchange. So they've been various topics. I think our topic for April that we're planning is going to be on bioresources. And we've got Twitter, Instagram, etc. Any more slides, Natasha? Perfect. I'm going to get you to stop sharing. I'm going to share my screen. I just want to take you to the website just so that you, so it's Ocean Startup Challenge, startupproject.ca. So as you go through, when you want to apply, you click on apply. And then you could say, I'm ready to apply, and it will take you to the application. Oh, it's just waiting. And then so you could see it right here. You just kind of type in the information. So this is for the challenge, and then describe the problem. Like there's word limits, solution.
Shelley, I don't think you're sharing your screen if that was the plan.
That was the plan. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's better.
There, that's better. So yeah, so on the website, I'm ready to apply. You go all the way through, and then you can do the application right here. So everything's there. So it's probably easier to do it in Word document. So this is the website. You go through, you hit apply. There's information here on the challenge statements. So if you're wondering about fishery and aquaculture, you could just click on there. And then it comes up with the document that shows you the challenge statements right down through the document. And then you can click on each one of those. And then there's information here on our challenge partners. So that's additional information. And then there's information here on the streams, so you can see up to the dollar amount. I will mention most of the awards will be given out for the idea stage. So if you have an idea or submit, because that's where kind of the focus is, we'll also be giving awards out to growth, but and only one to the ocean shot. The eligibility is here, apply, talks about the special awards here. The key dates are here, but I want to bring your attention to this. There is an information kit, which has all the information that I've talked about. So kind of the whole, everything that you'd want to know. I'm strolling through it quick. In the appendix, it's got all the items that we asked about in the application, so you can plan in advance. It's got the information on the technology readiness levels, so that you know what each of the levels are. And then it also has the complete challenge statements for all categories at the back. Offshore, all 5. So you can read everything in that document. There is the email if you've got questions is challenge@oceanstartupproject.ca/challenge. So yeah, so that's kind of the overview. So I'm going to throw it out to questions. I've kind of gone a little quick, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Shelley, Drew here. I can't remember. Are we able to put graphs and images in the various fields you have?
Natasha, are we able to do that?
I don't think you can. I think you can hyperlink in most of the fields, but my recommendation would be to include a document in the upload feature at the bottom of the application, and then reference that document in the fields of the application.
Thank you.
So I have a question, Shelley, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
when you talk about the companies that offer in-kind support, can you elaborate on that a bit more? For instance, if we go to Ingenuity, if we are a winner in the first place, and then if we go to Ingenuity, and if we tell them to build something for us, what would be the answer that we would get from them?
So because they are an in-kind partner, so they've actually come up and kind of stated what they would give as in-kind, and it's really more for the idea stage to kind of do some vetting with them on the idea for products. So they wouldn't actually be doing prototyping. So each of them kind of have different things that they will offer. So that's more, Ingenuity would be more for the idea stage. Did I answer your question? So it's no free services kind of for building the prototype, but you can include them as kind of as for use of funds.
Okay, so basically, if I understand this correctly, maybe they will only be able to sit down and have a chat with you and give you some ideas rather than offering other services. Is that right?
Yep. So each of the in-kind partners are offering different things. So Cox and Palmer, for example, is actually offering legal services.
Yep.
BDO is offering accounting services. So each of them have got different services that they're going to provide. For instance, the Port of Halifax will provide some space at the pier. Startup Yard is going to provide some space. So each of the in-kind partners are providing different things.
Okay, so the Port of Halifax will offer space. Do you have any more ideas about location? For instance, would that potentially be a place that we could use for some tests? Or shall we have to wait to see?
I could do that intro beforehand, though, Ulash.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody's so quiet. But I would encourage everybody to go to the website and print out the information kit because all the details are there. If you've got any questions after you review, reach out to us. And I know it's a small group on here too. So even if you want to send your application in for us to take a peek at beforehand, I'm happy to do that. Don't leave it to kind of the last 2 days, but if you send it to us like a week or two before, we can provide some input on the application. Natasha, have I left anything out?
No, I think you covered it all that I could think of. Just to reiterate, I think tips for the application, the Word document, drafting your application beforehand and then copying and pasting into the web form. I think that's a really great tip. And yeah, just be as concise as possible, but also include as much information as you can fit within the word limits.
Shelley, I had one question. Hi, my name's Harry Rappaport. I work in a company called Urchanomics, and a question that I have is just, appreciate the offer for input prior to submitting the application. What's the best way to get in contact with you and your team?
The email address, there's an email address on the website and in the information kit. Just send it to that address. Natasha, can you put it in the chat? Yeah, so the
I'm on it.
address is in the chat.
Great. Thank you.
And we'll make sure that we email you out a copy of this presentation. So I have to say, I have been working kind of in the ocean sector for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been in a Nova Corp for, my husband's back. I've been in a Nova Corp for 13 years, and this is the competition that has the most money I have ever seen. So it is a great opportunity to get some non-dilutive dollars for your company. Perfect. Well, with that, I thank everybody for attending, and we'll make sure that we give you a copy of the application or the presentation.
Thank you, Shelley. Bye-bye.
Thanks for
Perfect.
joining, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.